If you're looking for a Shundo, this could be the event for you, and we're not just going to show you why, but also how to potentially do that. We're going to do a full event breakdown, take a closer look at our 3 featured shiny boosted Pokemon. We're going to discuss some pro tips as well as some top targets for you to fully capitalize on this event. This is Water Research Day with Magikarp, bro. With Go With Us. As always, let's get time and dates out of the way. Guys, this Water Research Day replay event will be taking place this weekend on Saturday, March 21st at 2 p.m, running for 3 hours until 5 p.m. that evening. But what is a Research Day and how does it work? How these Research Day events work is that in a 3-hour time frame, every single Pokestop in the game will be attached to a certain field research task, which is going to award you one of the 3 featured Pokemon, which again is Phoebus, Lotad, and Clamperl. But the interesting thing that's just taken place in Pokemon Go is that they have revamped the shiny rates. Normally, these would be the following shiny rates for these featured Pokemon. Lotad would have a 1 in 512 chance, Clamperl would normally have a 1 in 64 chance, and so would Phoebus at 1 in 64. But because of the new revamp changes, all of these Pokemon outside of this event are going to have a 1 in 512 chance. However, during this 3-hour time frame, they all have a 1 in 10 chance to be shiny, which drastically increases your Shundo odds. In fact, to prove this to you, the very first Shundo I ever got was on Yamask Research Day, and I didn't even play it that hard. I span a stop, got a certain task, got the reward Pokemon, and I remembered that at the time Yamask's 100% CP value was 420. But seriously, it was, and it happened to be a Shundo, and I knew immediately this was my first Shundo in Pokemon Go. Recently in Pokemon Go, there have been a lot of events which require tickets, passes, and of course Pokecoins, which is why today we would strongly recommend you look at today's sponsor, U7Buy. U7Buy is a gaming marketplace where you can buy discounted in-game currency and items, including Pokecoins and event tickets for Pokemon Go. Established in 2010, they have satisfied over 5 million customers and they've completed over 12 million orders. For example, if you look on the screen right now, guys, 1,200 Pokecoins is going to cost me like $5. And if you want to save even more with them, please just use our code, which is going to be GWUZA at checkout to get an extra 5% off on their already very low prices. Check the link in the description to get started and grab your extra discount code. If you guys want to upgrade this experience for a total cost of $2, you can pretty much get an extra timed research, which is going to award you even more encounters with the 3 featured Pokemon. When it comes to the field research of these specific Pokemon, you need to know the 100% IVs. So if you encounter Lotad through that field research, that Hundo CP is going to be 256. If you encounter Phoebus, it's going to be 117, and if you encounter Clamperl, that Hundo CP is going to be 544 CP. We also have certain Pokemon spawning in the wild in this 3-hour time frame. A lot of water types. We can see Magikarp, Chinchou, and Mareanie. It's important to mention that all of these Pokemon can be shiny, but they will not be shiny boosted like the featured Pokemon in field research. Those are the... Dude. Alright, just stay there, bro. Those are the main details out of the way, but what are some top tips to help me get the Shundo and to really maximize this day? If you want a Shundo, you really need to play in an area where there are tons of Pokestops, university campus, downtown area, a CBD, an area where there are tons of Pokestops is just going to increase your chance as getting that Shundo, because the more research tasks you do, the more chance of getting that particular Hundo or Shundo. Tip number 2 is going to be candy gains. How do I maximize candy and XL candy during this water type event? Because we know all of these Pokemon are going to be water type, I would strongly recommend Mega Evolving a Mega Level 3 water type Pokemon, which is going to grant you at Mega Level 3 an extra 2 candy per catch and an extra 25% chance at getting XL candy for all the relevant Pokemon. But the great thing about this event is that it's actually going to be doubling up with the BUGOUT event. During the BUGOUT event, there is a BUGOUT Go Pass that at tier 2, which is at level 50, we're all going to get 2 times catch candy, which means every single Pokemon you catch is going to grant you 6 candy. With that Pineapple Berry, it's going to grant you 12 candy, and if you have that Mega Level 3 bonus in the background, you're going to be getting 14 candy per catch with XL candy on top of that. This is an incredible opportunity to do that, and because BUGOUT is going to be featuring during this event, I would strongly recommend getting Primal Kyogre out, because it is going to boost candy for water, electric, but also bug types, and as we know, BUGOUT is going to be running in the background, so you can tick quite a few boxes while this Kyogre is in its primal form. Tip number 3 has to do with XP gains, but you're probably already thinking, but there's no XP bonus during this event, and you're absolutely right. But next to this event, like we just said, the Bug Out event will be running live. And at tier 1, which is going to be at level 25 of that Go Pass, we're all going to unlock 2 times catch XP, which means every single Pokemon you catch during this event will have that 2 times XP bonus. But if you have the lucky egg running, every single excellent throw will now grant you around 4,000 XP per catch. If you're on your way to level 80 and if you're looking for easy excellent throws, things like Magikarp, Lotad, Clamperl, these Pokemon are very easy to land excellent throws on, so a great way to get XP on this day as well. Tip number 4 has to do with Stardust gains, but again, there are no Stardust bonuses. But again, during that Bug Out event, one of the bonuses that will be live on these 2 specific days is that attracted to lure modules will be Sizzlipede coming with a shiny boost, as well as Combee coming with a shiny boost. So there are more potential shiny Pokemon that you could get being drawn to lures. But please remember that Combee is a permanently boosted Stardust Pokemon, granting you 750 Stardust per catch. If you throw in a star piece, every single Combee is going to be granting you over 1,000 Stardust per catch, and depending on how common they are, especially because you're going to be floating between Pokestops throughout the entirety of the event, throwing lure modules down, having more chance of that shiny Sizzlipede as well as a shiny Combee, but potential Stardust gains as well, could be a good time to maybe throw in a star piece to really maximize that. Tip number 5 has to do with platinum medals. There are 2 specific medals that you can really go at during this event. The first one is going to be your Pokemon Ranger medal, which requires you to complete 2,500 research tasks. It is a research day. The research is very easy to complete, so you can fly through this and really chip away at that. And the other one is going to be your Swimmer Platinum medal, which requires you to catch 2,500 water type Pokemon in this 3-hour time frame. If you play it hard, you could get hundreds of water types to again chip away at this medal. Those are your top tips, but what are some top targets that you should... Bro. Alright, yeah, you can stay, bro. What are some top targets we should be going after? First up is Lotad going into Ludicolo. Ludicolo in PvP right now is actually a really good Pokemon. In the Great League, it's currently ranked 137. Optimal IV set you want there is going to be a 0-15-15. It's a really good Pokemon. It applies a lot of shield pressure and it is pretty spammy, but it's actually in the Ultra League where this Pokemon shines best. It's currently hovering around the 20th spot, breaking into the top 20, but you will need XL Candy for this Pokemon because at level 50, with a combination of a 6-14-15, you will be able to max this Pokemon out just under 2,500 CP cap, which means it's a really bulky Pokemon to use. Next up is going to be Phoebus going into Milotic. Unfortunately, Milotic is not the strongest Pokemon in Pokemon Go, but that shiny is absolutely gorgeous. Some people call it the most beautiful Pokemon ever, and maybe an honorable mention for something in PvP, because in the Great League and Ultra League, it's still kind of hovering between the 100 and 200 mark, so maybe a decent opportunity there. Target number 3 is going to be Clamperl going into either Gorbis or Huntail. None of these Pokemon have any meta relevance right now in the game, but you need to try and get the shiny variants because a lot of people don't even have these on their decks because they don't know that Clamperl evolves into 2 different things. Remember to get enough candy so you can evolve it because it is randomized at a 50-50 chance. So hopefully you get enough shiny Clamperl to get the shiny Gorbis and the shiny Huntail. Next up is going to be a wild spawn Pokemon, which is going to be Chinchou going into Lantern. Lantern right now in the Great League has stood the test of time. It's a really good Pokemon to go after. The optimal IV set you want there is going to be a 0-13-14. It's a very bulky Pokemon and it's pretty agile, and especially with its water and electric typing, it's a pretty good type in the meta. Next up is going to be Magikarp, a big... Yeah, it's your turn, dude. Magikarp can go into Gyarados. Gyarados right now in the Great League is a pretty strong Pokemon, currently ranked around 127. That Shadow is ranked 128. The optimal IV set you want there is going to be a 0-14-15. And the Ultra League though performs even better, currently hovering around the 74th spot. Its Shadow is currently around the 95th spot. The optimal IV set you want there is going to be a 0-15-14, but it's actually in the Master League where this Pokemon shines even better. Gyarados with Aquatail, which will require an Elite Charge TM, is currently ranked 57, and of course a 15-15-15 at level 50. Really good Pokemon, but please remember Gyarados can Mega Evolve into Mega Gyarados, which is currently the 15th best Dark type attacker in the game and the 5th best Water type attacker in the game as well. Gyarados is one of the best utility Pokemon in the game right now. Next up is going to be Mareanie going into Toxapex. Toxapex, especially in the Great League, is a pretty good Pokemon with that Poison and Water typing. It's currently ranked around the 100 mark in the Great League. The optimal IV set you want there is going to be a 0-15-15. It is an extremely bulky Pokemon, very good to use. Our last target actually has nothing to do with this event, and it is Zamazenta in 5-star raids. Please remember that this Pokemon will only be in raids until the 24th. Zamazenta and Zacian are very, very important Pokemon to get hundos for because their crowned forms are some of the best Pokemon in the game. But remember, to get this Pokemon into its crowned form, you're going to need 1000 energy, Zamazenta candy, as well as this Pokemon knowing Iron Head. If you don't have the energy, you're going to have to wait for another crowned raid day in order to get the energy. But the crowned form is currently the second best steel type attacker in the game with Metal Claw and Behemoth Bash, which is, by the way, also an adventure effect. Behemoth Bash is going to increase your defense and max battles and raids by 5 to 10%. And in the Master League as well, this Pokemon is currently hovering around the 5th or 6th spot. Absolutely imperative to get a hundo for this Pokemon. So in summary, guys, if you want that Shundo, you need to be playing in a downtown area where there are a lot of Pokestops in a 3-hour time frame. I want you to gun every single Pokestop and field research task you can possibly get. Please remember as well, every single Pokestop actually has 2 research tasks attached to it. So maybe if you got a task that was to power up a Pokemon 7 times and you didn't want to waste the Stardust, you could delete that task, get a scan task in your field research, wait 5 minutes, spin the stop again, and then you will get the alternate research. That is actually how I got my Shundo Yamask all those years ago. I'm pretty sure that I got the alternative research. So guys, that is a very big thing to do as well. If you guys want to see everything going on in Pokemon Go this week, we will leave it as our end screen right now. And if you want to check out that bug out event as well, which will be live for the remainder of the week, we are going to leave it on our right here as well. Love you guys. Go with us. Please smash that like and subscribe button, but more importantly, that hype button so we can travel as far as wide as possible. The numbers on the channel are insane, and it's only purely to your support, and we cannot do this without you guys. Love you. Go with us. Magikarp wants to say goodbye. Cheers, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one, baby.